The difference, though, my friends, the difference between this fight and other previous fights we had against Germany is that we are now fully prepared. As you can see here, Warsaw now has an interlocking defence here. Look at this, it is absolutely ram-packed here, full of absolutely, almost, not quite, almost full army groups here. Don't know, maybe they think there's something in the wind. They think we're going to be coming for them in Dresden, but either way they can reinforce Berlin at an absolute heartbeat's notice. They really can. So we have to, if we're going to fight and we're going to take the fight to them, it has to be meticulously planned here. We've also got, oh no, the Dutch have gone. The Dutch have gone. That means Spain has taken the Netherlands as well. That is, now that is a potential game changer. Greetings and welcome to episode 84 of my Empire Total War Darth Mod USA campaign. This, my friends, how we left it last time, where peace still reigns, my friends, but the military council has spoken, and it is absolutely, once again, my friends, we've come up with some exemplary plans here. Some wonderful plans have been put into motion here, and we're going to enact on every single one of them. Now, just before we begin this as well, I wanted to know, just an extra to say thank you, my friends, for all your support. It's been absolutely wonderful. It really has, in all campaigns, and in this one in particular. Now, I'm going to enact all the plans that the council, all of you, have sort of laid down, sort of on paper, as it were, and sort of help me and you know, sort of help direct and mold this campaign as is. Now we're going to do it, we are going to do every single one. Now we may not see all your plans enacted straight away because we've got to build up quite a lot of military forces here to be able to sort of really push on what we want to do here. Now let's just quickly go over what was sort of the military council has sort of brought forward here and what their plans might be. The first thing is Spain. Now I hold my hands up, my friends. Spain has become absolutely rampant here in West Europe. It really has, and that is entirely my fault. Many of you said, Mally, you need to deal with Spain. Way back when we had Spain almost crushed, we took New Spain, we drove Spain completely out of the New World. And many of you said, Mally, you need to destroy Spain utterly, and I didn't do that. That's completely and utterly my fault. No one else to blame, me entirely. So now we've got to deal with the sort of the aftermath of that, the sort of the resurgence of Spain. It has to be dealt with. And many of you said, Mally, you need to strike against Spain. You need to crush Spain. And you need to do it really, you know, with as much power as you can possibly muster against them. That's what we're going to do. And also, to do that, many of you said, Mally, you need to bring forces from North America, the ones that are just sort of sat there doing nothing at the moment, because you know, many of you said Britain won't attack you. Britain is a firm ally at the moment, so you've got no real problems with Britain attacking you, but you need to bring the forces that you have sort of sat there in North America. Let's have a quick look here what we have got available at us before we start to really, you know, build up our forces even more. As you can see here, we've got an army group nearly fully stationed here, ready to go. We've got another army here outside New York, which can also be added in. We've got another army here outside Philadelphia. Again, that can be added, some more troops. We've got some really good armies here. These are going to constitute the armies that are going to be put together to build a huge invasion force of Spain. We are going to hit Spain from 2 points. The first is going to be the absolute heart here. There's Madrid. Now remember, we control the Gibraltar Straits. We control access into the Mediterranean, which is absolutely vital for this type of mission, because we just cannot have anybody interrupting what we're about to do, because we're going to commit a huge swathe of our military to this operation against Spain, and it's going to require a massive amount of sort of gold spent, but also of us bringing together all the pieces we need here to make this go. We're going to get one chance at this, and one chance alone. We're going to have to hit Spain and probably Paris and possibly Amsterdam all at the same time. Now they are the key hubs, as you can see here. Let's again switch back to Western Europe. These are the key hubs here of the Spanish Empire at the moment. Look at France here. I mean, Paris is the absolute apogee here of the Spanish Empire. Now, for some reason, France didn't come back and take this back. That is their problem. That is not something we're going to deal with. I know some of you recommended we probably give this back to France because they need Paris. I know we're allied with them now at the moment, and there's a good chance they might help us here. But if we go against Spain here, it won't be straight. We won't be giving Paris back to France. France, beg your pardon, straight away. We will actually keep Paris for ourselves until Spain is utterly vanquished, and then we will consider giving some of these regions back to France, if we do at all. So I know that many of you have sort of been, sort of saying, man, I need to give France Paris back to be able to get it back into a power. But then all we'll have to do in the long run is take down France as well. At the moment, France is hemmed in where we want it to be. We're allied with France, which means they're not going to do anything against us because they wanted to be allies with us. But if we take out Spain and we take all of Spain have, if we effectively take Western Europe, we will have then effectively sandwich Austria and Germany between our forces in the west and our forces in the east. But look at the sheer magnitude here of the operation we have to undertake to take Spain. It is going to be huge. We have all of Western Europe and indeed most of Southern Europe and Tangier as well. Morocco is under Spanish control. This is no small task, believe me, even though it may seem that we can sort of bulldoze through this. This will not be an easy task at all. Let's look at the troops they've got in here actually. I'd be very surprised if they have... They've started to filter these out with quite... Yeah, they've got some pretty good troops here, but we don't know what's in Madrid. We have no idea what's in Portugal. But look at the absolute production centres they've got available to them here. This is why we control Gibraltar. Look at that there. It is absolutely vital that we hold this, because then we hold in place this Spanish navy as well. Now we can deal with the Spain in Europe here. There's not a chance that Spain will get anywhere near our holdings here, because we've got, some massive task force here, and I believe we're building another task force here in the Baltic. Indeed, there it is, and that is just a gigantic fleet we're going to put together here. Now this will probably be the fleet that'll actually escort some of the ships and probably hit some of the ports here that the Spanish have here. So we need to sort of put together several fleets that are going to actually really hit these ports, take these ports down, hold the ports, damage the ports. We have to do this properly, my friends. We can't engage in a war with Spain and do it half-hearted with only minimal amount of forces. That will simply not work, because I can absolutely guarantee you that Germany might take that chance to think that we're actually splitting our forces, drawing off our military might to take on Spain, and they may look at an opportunity to hit against us. Now let's have a look at Spain's. Now they're allies with Austria, which we're already at war at, doesn't matter, and they're also allies with Sweden. Now Sweden only has Iceland still at its disposal, so we're not going to worry about that, but we have got ships well in place to actually seal off Sweden if they decide to come after us here. As you can see here, we are well within the reach here. They've got that navy here, but that is a vast army. We can't have Sweden moving out here, because if that army comes along, it could give us a little bit of few problems here. Britain seems to have this navy here just stuck out here in the northeast Atlantic, which is slightly strange. But we're going to have ships for the Bay of Biscay, we're going to have ships for the English Channel, we're going to have ships down for the Portugal, the East Atlantic. We've already sealed off, as you can see here, the Mediterranean from the Atlantic, so that is pretty much already a done deal here. So it's going to comprise of a huge military operation. That is despite the operation that's going on here in east as well, and also in sort of further north here as well in Copenhagen. It's going to be massive, probably the biggest operation we've carried out, probably even bigger than the operation we carried out here in Königsberg and Poland and that. Now, also many of you say, Mala, it's absolutely driving us mad here that you've got all these forces sort of bottled up around one city, not doing anything with them. I agree. So what we're going to do, we're going to detach 2 army groups from Warsaw, and we're going to purge the land of the Austrians here. We're going to take the fight to the Austrians. We're actually going to move up to the border here with Silesia, and we're going to seal off, because we've got France here on this side here, and I believe that France allies with Germany, so that means the Germans can move through their territory, but we're not going to leave Warsaw undefended. We're going to leave plenty of troops behind here. So as you can see, some of these forces are already at full capacity, some are going to need to be topped off, and some are going to have some new recruits added to them to make sure they are absolutely at full spec here. We're not going to leave anything to chance. And indeed, we're probably going to detach 2 of these armies here that have been at Königsberg since the very beginning are also going to be moved away. We have to be careful because remember, they can still move behind us here through the Russian territories. If Russia joins the war as well, then we'll have to reconsider what we're doing in terms of what we have around Warsaw, because it'll still be the focal point. But we're actually going to take the fight to the Austrians and move up to the border here, so that if anything does happen, we can at least engage the enemy straight off the bat here. And as you can see, I mean, look at France. It has just got a humongous amount of troops here, but they are starting to see that battle weariness here. Probably they're not able to afford all these troops, to be honest with you, and they're starting to lose men because of the lack of funds. But that again is not our problem. Our problem is to keep ourselves afloat here. We'll probably actually detach this army as well and combine it into an army group. What do we have? Oh my goodness me, of course it's the reconstituted Marine Expeditionary Force. And look at this here, we also got, yes, of course, we got the craft workshop up here, but there's also one other place which I did spot previous to, there it is, in Georgia here. We don't have anything here, so we're actually going to make this a shipyard. We're going to increase our naval power, because remember, we're going to need ships. Why do you need more ships? You think, there's also Afghanistan we've got to deal with, which we'll deal with momentarily. Another excellent suggestion was this, that if we go to war with Spain, we need to have a fleet that specifically, its job is specifically to take down the trade of Spain. That means attacking Spanish ports, but predominantly attacking Spanish trade nodes and trade wherever it may be. So let's look at the trade nodes here. Now we don't know what's here. We have no idea what's in Brazil. There's Brazil. There is the Ivory Coast. Now that's Prussia. There's Spain, but they've got nothing coming out of here anyway. But that doesn't mean we're going to leave them alone. Not a chance. Now Russia's got a huge amount of trade coming in here. Now we might even take these nodes for ourselves. We could probably deal with the Mughal Empire here as well. Naples and Sicily here. Are we at war with Naples and Sicily as well? Yes, we are. So we could actually take care of those as well. We could do multiple damage here to multiple enemies. Now let's have a look at the Strait of Madagascar, Courland, once again Russia, Spain again here, Genoa and Persia. So again, we're going to hunt down per your request, as your suggestion here. We don't know what's in here, so again, that fleet is going to be moving around at great pace, striking the Spanish where it needs to be hit, and possibly taking the trade nodes for ourselves. So we're going to do that as well. Now also was another brilliant suggestion, which was to move the forces we have here in Patras and move them immediately to the Don and reinforce the Don in case the Germans come for us here, because as was rightly pointed out, this is a thorn in the side to the Germans. They have lost a great swathe here of their territory here in the east, in the Urals, almost straddling the Middle East. With Chechnya, Dagestan, we're hitting the Middle East here. So we need to move in here. We've taken sort of the access to the Black Sea, apart from, of course, the Russians have got Crimea, but we've taken the access to the Black Sea, the sea routes here of the Prussians. They do have Astrakhan here, but again, that's just for the Caspian Sea. That's not going anywhere. There's no outlet to that at all. We have effectively cut them off here from the sea and being able to reuse these forces here to travel via sea. So that's an excellent job. We need to reinforce this. That will be done. So we're going to move this force. We can, of course, quickly bring this force back up to strength. I think we can do that. And indeed, let's continue recruiting here to get this back up. Because remember, we've got Greece, who are not best friendly with us at the moment. As you can see, unfriendly, -45. If we leave this open, there's a chance that Greece might take the chance and strike against us. So we've got to be very careful. We've also got the Ottomans on the doorstep as well. So we don't leave that undefended. What we'll do, we'll wait until this is probably a half-stack army, and then we'll move this army out using this sloop here, a caster, to do the work of taking the army there. Of course, we've got this here. Look at that size of that fleet, is magnificent. And this fleet here will be, but look at that. The Ottomans have absolutely pushed everything into here. Now, another suggestion was to ignore Istanbul, or Constantinople, as many of you like to call it, and to go for Ankara here, Anatolia here, because as many of you said, this is probably going to be the region where you take this is going to give you the most production, probably going to give you closer ties actually via the Sinop port here to the Don, and also it'll probably give us least point of resistance, because as you can see here we'd have to be fighting into quite a stubborn defence here. But Ankara here wouldn't it also give us, this will also draw potentially Ottoman forces away from the front here with the Prussians, but also it might provide a barrier as well for the from the Prussians. If we're here, this might become, as was rightly stated, this might become the second Warsaw, because the Prussians might send loads of troops down here to try and take this off us. But if we take Ankara, all we're going to be dealing with then at the moment is the Ottomans, and we can deal with the Ottomans. So again, an army group will be sent here, and of course we do have plenty of troops in production here, in recruitment phases. Oh my goodness me, that is exceptional, sir. It really is wonderful to see. Look at that, heavy cavalry at last. So we're going to be battering. We've got a lot to do. We've got a lot to do. We really do have a huge amount to do. We've got to prepare our troops. So your plans will be enacted, my friends, but you may not see them be enacted straight away, but I promise you they will be done, because they've been absolutely exemplary. They really have, you know, to the point where you are effectively running this campaign. The military council is effectively running this campaign, because, you know, your plans, your suggestions, because you look at it from a different point of view than I do. You look at it with a different sort of a keener strategic eye than I do. You can look at it from almost from the outside looking in. Your minds are clear, your heads are clear of what's actually happening here. You're sort of focusing on different things that I might miss. That's what brings that sort of, you know, beautiful sort of plans to the table, and it's been absolutely exemplary. It really has. So we're going to continue building up here. As many of you said, hit Hanover, take Hanover, and that will either give you a staging post to either move into Spanish territory here or to hit Berlin. But many of you said hit Berlin from the east, so in other words from Gdansk, from West Prussia. So we're going to use the forces we got here, build more forces here, and we're going to push into Berlin from one side. We're going to take Hanover with these forces, and potentially then at the same time as a naval invasion is taking place of the Spanish sort of lands here, we're then going to move in with these forces at the same time that have taken Hanover. But what we have to do is get some spies moving here. So the first thing we're going to do is start reconnoitering the Spanish lands, what they have available, what they don't have available, where their weaknesses are. We have to gather that intelligence. It's going to be vital to what we do here. So first thing we're going to do is send out a spy through. Let's see what they could. Okay, that's a lot of troops around there. Let's have a look at the what they are made up of. Yeah, we're looking at some very fine troops here indeed. The composition of these armies is not too bad, but they still got conscripts and militia in here, but they're still bringing 24 pounders to the table. That's going to be pretty brutal. Cabalistas, buckle guns, they seem to be pretty popular with the Spanish buckle guns. Oh, good grief, that is a veteran force there. That force has seen some fighting. A Walloon infantry. Mounted guerrilla lancers, I bet they pack a punch, they do indeed. With this force here. And again, so we're going to still expand. We need to find out what's in Paris and travel through Brussels if possible. We're going to have to really reconnoitre what's going on here. But at the same time, we do need to keep our options open. Now we do have our spy here, and we don't want to send all of our spies into Spain just yet. Let's have a look here at the lists and our agents. Where are our spies? We've got New France. Wait a minute. Saxony. We've got one in New France. Keep an eye on the British. The one in the Black Hills up here. We need, as many said, you need to deal with the Black Hills Plains Nation, which we will do as well. We'll definitely do that. Got one in Mysore here. Keep an eye on the Mysoreans here, just in case. Michigan. Again, keeping an eye on the British. And then we've got the Netherlands here. So some of these can actually be probably moved away from here and sent to Europe. So we're actually going to start moving our spy here. It'll take a while for him to get here, but still. And the same here, we're going to move these spies out of here let's get them into Europe. We're going to need them to be our sort of forward reconnaissance force, as it were. And again, we do need to also increase our production here. As you can see here, we've got these ports, and Puerto Cabello, 750 the regional wealth. We'll invest in that port here. Again, we've got to keep our economy going. Our economy will be vital to these missions. It really will, to this massive assault we're going to take on Spain here. Again, we're going to deal with Afghanistan, and we'll eliminate.
We are victorious.
Excellent. And their men are now at the bottom of the ocean where they belong. That's why we've got to be careful here that we keep our forces here up to date, up to full spec. Now that reminds me, let's immediately begin construction of additional forces here. We've got privateers here, but I think we'll get some first-rate ship lines here. We're going to start putting together another task force, because remember, the task force is going to go in here. It's got to go in pretty big here. We do need to take care of the plains nations up here, really. So it looks like we have to put a force together to deal with that as well. So I think we'll have to try and juggle our forces we've got here. We do have a lot of forces sitting around here. Now this navy here, gentlemen, can already be moved to here. Start forming that fleet here. We've got this sloop here, Hercules, which is going to join the force here. Again, we're going to put together all of our forces we need. Again, we're not going to be moving this fleet out of here. So as you can see, a huge amount of our trade goes through Lewis here, or Lewes here. Look at that naval force there. We could use it there, but we have to remain vigilant. If we go against Spain, we don't know what's going to come our way here. So we're not going to abandon all of our posts here, but that doesn't mean we're not going to do what we need to do. We've got 3,733 here. Let's put into production here and recruitment some additional forces that we're going to need. Needed bowmen. No, I don't. Heavy cavalry for definite here. We've got £6, 24 pounders. Okay, we're almost done here, but it's going to put a huge strain on our finances. It really is. The economy is going to struggle here. So again, we've got to find that right balance here of what we're doing. That is an absolute joy to see. It really is. And we'll have one more heavy cav here. Right, we've got an army group possibly being put into place here. We've also got these forces here being put together to go against Anatolia. We've got the forces here ready to strike. We could actually probably move some of these onto ships and move them out as well.
Yes. Troops, forward. Sir. Sir. Citizens, march.
Yep, there it is. The guns are needed there. What have we got under recruitment here? Oh, that's a fantastic site there. Now I know the General North as well requested some additional units into his army, which we shall do. Right, let's get some of these organised here. We can't push out just yet with these forces.
Sir.
This force here needs to be reconfigured. Do we have any smaller armies here? No. We're not going to move out unless all these forces here we have are going to move out, are going to be at full strength. So recruitment is already well underway here, so we're going to again start putting these out. But what we'll to start doing is moving some of these forces out. We've got General Bigig here, and we've also got General Friedland.
At the ready.
Alex Boehm.
Ready for order.
General Gallimore.
Sir.
General Hoover.
Sir.
General Beckham.
Orders. Sir.
General Robert Caton.
Ready and awaiting orders.
General Zeno.
Your humble servant.
Bob Holyfield here. John Mullins. So we're going to move out and we're going to strike probably direct. No, I think what we'll do is hit the mass of the Austrian forces here. What have they got available here? These are all frontline troops. Smaller backup force there. That's a huge amount of line infantry there. Well, this would be a force. This would be a fight par excellence. It really would. Yeah, these are all frontline troops. So we'll be fighting into this, and they'd also have these coming in from the side as well. So they've got 2 army groups plus some additional forces. They've also got this army here. They started to bring in some additional, but most of their forces are down here. So if we strike against the Austrians here, we can at least be fully aware that we can bring in reinforcements quite quickly. We're actually going to detach
Yes, sir.
2 forces from here. Will Broley here, we'll bring in Will Broley's force, which again is an exemplary force here. Not much, but it's got good cavalry. So we're going to bring that just here to the north of the Vistula. And we have here, what do we have in this, in the Joshua Tomlin here? I think we'll move in General Ersoy here. Now we're not going to leave Königsberg. Remember the fight we had for Königsberg? That was pretty brutal. So we'll actually leave a good complement of troops here, just in case the war with Germany does reignite. And we're also going to start moving in. Oh, look at that, mate! Look at that! What a wonderful sight there! It really is. Oh, gentlemen. Now, some of these forces will actually be moving into the Marine Expeditionary Force here. Now that has no general in there yet.
At the ready.
John Waxer.
Sir.
And indeed General Fisher.
Ready and
We'll actually move them here to Pomerania.
Make ready. Ready for march. Forward for crown and country.
And we'll actually move
At the ready.
the Marine Expeditionary Force up, so we've got that full, almost a full army group here moved into position. As soon as some of these troops here are ready under recruitment, they should be moved into here. How many do we need? 3 more. I wonder if we were to include some cavalry maybe into there, but Marine Expeditionary doesn't really have that mobility, as it were.
Ready for
We've got General Mendoza here. I think we'll bring General Mendoza's army across into here as well, just to add some extra depth here. As you can see, already an exemplary army. Look at that general, a wonderful General Mendoza. Seen a lot of action, a lot of fighting, known for some stern discipline, but still much needed here. So this army group is probably going to strike against these forces here. We'll have another army group and probably some reserves hitting these army groups here as well. So
yes, sir.
oh, General Caton here. We need to have a force that's got artillery in it, and that's perfect. Dominic, General Zeno's army will cross. No, gentlemen, please. We can't actually move, so that means we're going to have to bring the army back to here.
Can't do that, General. Your humble servant.
These have to be filled out. The General Beckham's army have to be moved out.
Make ready,
Oh, that's a fine force there.
sir.
Let's just adjust a few things here.
More orders? Yes, sir. Forward for crown and country. Ready and awaiting orders. Not possible, sir. Can't do that, General. Yes, sir.
Whom else do we have here? Against, oh, good grief! Look at that! Look at that! That is a cavalry. Oh, Mickey Kerr, that's a cavalry regiment and a half there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And of course we've got General Alex Boehm's army as well, which will probably form part of the army group as well. So be careful here we don't expose this flank here too much.
Sir.
So at that end we'll just shift them here, because remember they can't cross the river either unless they come directly for Warsaw. But we're just going to reconfigure some of these armies here. I think that's all we can do at the moment here. But again, we're going to reconnoitre here what Spain have. As you can see, they do have a decent amount of troops here. Now the chances are these troops will be brought back up to full strength pretty quickly. which means we're going to be fighting into quite difficult ground here, especially if we hit Amsterdam. We could be thrown back into the sea quite easily if we're not careful here. But Paris is a little bit further away from the coast, which means once you're fighting into Paris, it becomes easier to sort of, you know, maneuver around the land. Amsterdam is such a small area that once you're trapped in Amsterdam, you're going to be pretty much there for the long term, especially if you come under protracted siege. Now Britain has been a wonderful ally of ours, it really has. We want to try and help them as best we can, but of course they need to repair that trade centre there, our trading port. And again, I think we'll bring this fleet out to here. Out to here. Actually, we'll move it right out to here into the North Sea, and that actually increases our thing here because we're not taking off our trade partners, as it were. So we're making our intentions known here. What do we have here? That's a sloop. But again, we want to cut off this port if we go back to war with them. Again, we want to be able to cut these ports off instantaneously. And again, we've got these sloops here, which again are just basically raiding for us. Oh, that's a magnificent fleet there, it really is. But these need to go into full strength here. So we'll wait, and then we'll send them back to a port here in Aarhus, and then they should be built up to full strength. They are not at full strength by any shape of the imagination here. Right, I think we're good to go here. We're not going to move out these yet. We will be moving them, but we're going to make sure we get half a stack army here just as protection. We can get cannon, which we will do, and we're gonna go for Anatolia here in Ankara. But let's end the turn, my friends, and let's see what comes our way here. Let's see what happens. Maybe it'll all be taken out of our hands and the enemy will attack us before we even have a chance to attack them, in which case we shall be immediately thrown into a brutal war, but one that we shall not shirk away from. Now Britain, nothing silly from you, sir. What will Austria do? Moving additional forces up. But I'll be damned if we're going to be steady, gentlemen. Now it is starting to move away, but that's fine. That gives us more additional room, more breathing space to which to sort of move our troops into position. Do they know that something is in the wind here? Are they pulling back here? And if they are, we shall take... I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Of course, Senshi warned me that there was that Austrian fleet there and I didn't see it. Drats. What? Sir? No. Trade agreement, yes, but you're not getting Panama for... No, I don't jest. Here's the crucial factor. What will they do? They're starting to move up towards the border here. Do they see something in the wind here? Have they gotten perchance their hands on any of the plans that we have in the works for them here? They are now starting to reinforce Berlin quite significantly there. That's a huge reinforcement. Now, but where they're moving away from the Don there. Then what we'll also do is we'll send spy ships as well to go and look at those trade nodes to see what's available to us, especially in Brazil and in India. We'll go and check what is there. We need to make sure exactly what our intelligence has to be perfect for this. It really does. Naples and Sicily, now they're not best friends with us at all, but that's neither here nor there. Afghanistan have been an absolute fiendish thorn in our side there, especially in Well, my friends, that took a very long time for the Ottoman turn to be completed. As you can see, Spain now starting to gather its forces together here. Ooh, ooh. Moving a lot of forces here to the border. Hang on, where are you going, Sweden, exactly? Where are you going, sir? I'm probably going to hit... Damn, they're going to hit Russia again. That's a blow, that is, to our trade right there. Looks like we might have a deal with Sweden ourselves, I think. I wonder if we could trigger a war with Spain if we attack Sweden. That might be the other way around. What? Bankrupt. Wow. All because the trade there was cut off by Sweden. That is absolutely unbelievable. That's how much we're under pressure in terms of what we got to do here. We are absolutely going to take that fight. But we're not going to panic just yet. Let's put our forces into...
Sir.
Look at these Fusiliers, absolutely fantastic there.
Ready for order.
We can't actually do anything else at all. That is how dire the situation was there. Poland, we've got a lot of forces here.
Yes, sir. Yes. Sir.
This army here is looking in very good shape at the moment. Oh, 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 look at that.
At the ready.
We need 3 of those regiments into here, so we're going to put the Marines.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, Continental Marines are going to go into here. Oh, look at that, that is a magnificent force there. Then we have these gentlemen here, the line infantry guards, and also 32 pounders. I think we can probably put those into an army that is ready to be fighting Austria. I believe where's an army that's going to need them additional forces here.
Your orders. Ready for order.
Oh, that's a stupendous there. That's a wonderful.
Yes.
She'll put additional force into here.
March. Sir.
We have to go right the way around if we wanted to cross here.
Ready and awaiting orders.
So that means we have to move these forces into the flank here if we're going to push in from this direction. So we're going to begin that already. General Mendoza's army will immediately move into here.
Yes, sir. Forward. Harvesting supplies. Ready. Sir. March.
We're going to prepare ourselves
Men.
for the forthcoming battle.
Make ready. Halt. March.
And these forces here.
Orders. Make ready.
Oh, that's a wonderful sight, that really is. But again, once these forces here move,
Sir.
try and move this army here.
At the ready. Crown and country. Sir. At the ready. Orders.
We're just going to sort of rejig our forces here.
Yes, sir. Ready for order. Forward. Sir. March. Your orders. Sir.
We want this army here of General Friedland moved around.
Sir. Forward. Your orders.
This army can actually move back.
Forward. Sir. March. Can't do it, sir.
We're starting now to put together our forces we want in this fight here.
Make ready.
That's one army group here. That's another army group we're going to possibly put into position here.
Ready and awaiting orders. Forward. For crown and country.
Oh, that is a magnificent force there. General Holyfield. So that's our army groups we've got here. That's our other army group that's going to go over here. We've got the rest here defending. We're going to move them into position.
Forward. March. Yes. More orders. Your humble servant.
What we do have to do though is get this open up here. because a huge amount of our trade was being taken up there, and that's why our tax levels had to shoot up last time. That's an absolute menace. It really is a menace to us, that there. I've got a good mind to take the fight to Sweden here and take them out utterly. And deal with their fleet once and for all. Now, of course.
Ready and awaiting order. Yes, sir.
That's a magnificent looking force there.
At the ready. Yes, sir. Ready and awaiting order.
I think we'll put two more into here.
Men, forward. Your humble servant.
4 cavalry. I think we need some more troops in here.
Forward for crown and country. Yes.
Oh, that's it. Look at that.
Your humble servant.
So again, we're going to make sure that we have a good complement.
Yes.
So we'll move.
At the ready. Forward. March.
I think we probably need to take a howitzer and an additional marine unit as well.
Sir. At the ready.
They're also going to be moved down to
By the
Boston.
left. March. Yes.
What do we have in here? Nothing in recruitment here.
Men, forward.
But that trade has really hit us hard. That has hit us absolutely where it hurts there. With Sweden, we need to deal with Sweden, to be honest with you. We need to deal with them.
Ready and awaiting order.
We also need to deal with the...
Sir.
We also need to deal with... What's going to be the reaction
Anything more?
here?
Forward.
That's fine if we move that
Sir.
into there.
Your orders.
That's more like it.
Sir. By the left. March.
We need to take Anatolia as quickly as we possibly can, but also looks like the Germans have moved away from the Don here. In great numbers here. They've moved utterly away from there. Probably to move away and replenish, which is fine. But still, we don't want to be taking our eye off the ball there at all, but Ankara still is one of the main points we're going to strike here. Actually, what we could do...
Yes, sir.
I mean, those forces are just too good to be
Make ready.
wasted in standing around here. I think what we might do is I think we might strike out with the forces we've got here. So
Ready
we've got
and
these
waiting
forces here. What do we have?
Ready for order.
No.
Make ready. March.
And also
Make ready.
we're going to move these forces, I think, to join them here. I think what we will do is we will take the forces that are here and here. Actually, let's check what's in Anatolia here. Can we check what's here? Let's just attach one of these sloops here.
Under sail. Still ship shape. Orders, Captain.
We can't actually see what's in there just yet.
Aye, aye, sir. Aye, sir.
Something's going on for that to be smoking here. There could be a rebellion here, but that looks a lot of troops here for that. And there's also fighting going on here. Why are these smoking these buildings here? Is there... Oh, that's cleared up now, but has there been a rebellion here potentially? What we need to do is to find out. Somehow we need to find out.
Under sail. Ready and waiting.
Oh, that's a decent fleet they've got right there.
On our way, Captain. Ship's orders.
I think what we will do is we'll detach some of these troops that are earmarked for this attack into Hanover here. I think what we will do is we'll take this force here.
Forward. Waiting further order.
We shall then take the troops that are here. We're going to go with 2 armies into Anatolia. Oh, 3 armies. We'll take this with us as well as our main strike force.
Officer on deck. Ship shape and just
The acute.
waiting further orders. Ready. Anything more? All away. Ready and awaiting orders.
We shall detach one of these gentlemen to move into here.
Heave away, boys. Ready for any orders? Immediately. And forward.
And also here, we're going to go on a bit of a
All away.
we're going to pray here. Now that army there guarding Stockholm, I think that would probably be the ideal one to move into here. So actually we're going to
Underway. Under sail. By the ready left. And waiting for any further orders. I'm about, sir.
these forces will actually become the garrison here. I know there's resistant foreign occupation, but that's fine. And we'll start building this force up eventually when we get the chance. Now we're bankrupt, of course, which isn't done too well, does it? But still,
Aye, sir.
we've got 2 strong armies. We've also got this.
Orders. Ship shape and crystal fashion, Captain. Take ready. Aye, aye, sir.
We shall move these together as one, and also this force here. Right, let's move them straight away to here to begin our journey to
Away, Captain. Aye, aye, sir.
Ankara.
Still ship shape. About.
We've had to sort of modify our plans slightly
Orders,
here.
Captain.
Okay, now how far can we actually get with this? We could actually get, can we get into here, I wonder? We are relying on that so much. I mean, good grief. If we weren't raiding these trade lines, we'd be in a lot of trouble. A huge amount of trouble. Right. Let's move. Come on now, don't you? Actually, we can move quite far into here. We got to be careful we don't overstretch here. Remember, we still are. We'll move towards this fleet here, which will give us additional protection. We'll actually just move into here. Then we're going to seal off Gibraltar again.
Ship's orders.
We're moving into position here.
Still ship shape.
Come on, gentlemen, move now. Step up. Luckily, Britain is hitting this port. No, it's not actually. Good grief, that's a massive fleet there.
Fleet ready. Any orders?
Oh, 8560. Very nice, sir. Oh, probably because we've got that being raided there as well. Remember, we're trying to keep this force in check here as well.
Aye, aye, sir. Ship's orders.
Right, how far can these actually get? Only to here. We want them to move into Ankara probably straight away off the bat there. What has Spain got here that can pose any problem to us? Nothing much, a bit of a mixed fleet. Now, let's move down into here, shall we? Let's see what's just going on here.
Discretion is assured.
Not a brilliant army. You've got an army in the starport here as well. That's a pretty robust army there, but again, nothing we couldn't really handle here in terms of if we put the right forces into position. We have drained a force off from here, but that doesn't make us any weaker. And of course, we've moved forces up to here as well, the border. And I think what we will do is we'll just take that step forward.
Men, forward.
Let's move these forces up here,
Make ready.
keeping this army group
Through.
as compact as we possibly can here. Had that punching power. We will move in against this Austrian force here. And indeed pushing against Austria. We might even strike down against Austria, but I think what we'll do is we'll put this army group out into the middle here from Lodz. We'll stretch across here to guard against this. We have lost a significant amount of income from these buildings being hit as well. I think that's all we can do. We're going to hit Ankara as quickly as we can here. And potentially, I think we probably need to take out Sweden as well, because they've been a right menace here to the Russian, our trade with Russia here, which is quite clearly critical to our economic health. So we're going to have to really expand, I think, start expanding possibly into Spanish territory here. And of course we've got these armies fit and ready to go here, but almost need to be built up to full strength here. I think what we might do is combine these armies and make this an army that... What have we got in here? We need more infantry in here, so in that case we'll put these two military infantry regiments in here, and I think we'll also put additional cavalry in there as well.
Yes.
And also I think we'll pull this force out. And let's make this army here complete. This army is also going to be joining the... And this will be sort of like a reserve force with this one here, so we can combine these together to build sort of like a reserve force. But we're going to be, we need a lot more troops, to be honest with you. Excuse my phone there, friends. We'll have to build a lot more troops here to hit against Spain, to be honest with you. But that is what we've got at the moment there, my friends, and it's going to be quite the fight here. We're going to move in. We'll have one last turn here, and we're going to move in against Anatolia here. We've got our first spy arriving to join us to move against or into Europe. But by damn, that was a hard hit we took there from that. From Russia being, pretty much closed off from us. That was a brutal bankrupt, sir. Mind you, the amount of forces we got here is quite exceptional. And that's what's draining us here, is our military presence here is just draining. Look at that, they've moved back in here. Have at you, sir. Have at you. Oh my goodness me, look how many forces the Austrians have got on the outskirts there. I forgot about that, damn it. I forgot about that force there. We can't allow that to move any closer. Now, what's France doing here? Germans, oh, that's a lot of forces they've got there. That's what we've got to be wary of. Look at the Minsk garrison. The Germans have brought all their forces back up to full strength here. Oh. They don't like our forces being so close to their border here. Look at that Minsk garrison, that is huge. We'll call it Empire. Afghanistan, which has been a nuisance. Russia, my friends, hopefully Sweden will pull away from here. Otherwise we're going to have to deal with Sweden by ourselves, purely for our own economic reasons. Nope, Sweden is still stuck there, so they haven't moved out at all. Well, tax rates have had to go up for a bit, but that's the reason why. Oh, that's fine. Let's move the journey to here. If you would please, sir. Thank you. We got 25,000. That's more like it, sir. 25,000. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Now we're talking. Look at that. What a wonderful. Oh my goodness me! Look at that. That is a force and a half right there. Now this army as well needs to be moved out. I think what we will do, we'll actually send this army, so these forces as well, we can reconstitute them. Oh, that's a magnificent force there. But again, we're not going to be putting anything into jeopardy here. Make room for them. Oh my gosh, we've got so much wonderful forces here. Let's just make sure that everything is clear here. Of course we've got the Sicilians here, but I think what the first thing we'll do is we'll block off this port here. That's a wonderful army there. Now this army can actually move into Patras here. Ready to strike and move out to avoid it, sir. Avoid. Thank you. That's safely in port. I've got 3 armies. 2 armies ready to move out. We've brought this fleet with us. Drats. That was a mistake on my part right there. But still, it can be rectified. Let's not panic. We shall move to Patras first, I think. Come on now, gentlemen. Let's not have any silly business here. Thank you. Actually, this force here could actually do a lot of good here. We've moved this force out of here, actually. But actually doing it in here is actually going to do us some good, actually, because we can actually raid the trade line here. Nothing can stop us doing that now. Now, we're already bringing in additional forces to here. Actually got 2 armies. We've got 1 army here. Ah, there's the other army. So that's 3 armies we've got here now. I think what we will do is we'll land these 2 forces. That's already under siege here. Let's combine this fleet here. Right, we're already ready to move into Ankara here. That's exactly what we're going to do. Then we'll move this force in as well. It can't move at the moment, but we're planted now on Ottoman and Anatolian territory here. If we can take Anatolia, look at that, we take a huge swathe of the Ottoman Empire immediately away from them. That'd be wonderful. And also we need to put these forces into position here. We need to make a statement here of intent.
Yes, sir.
And I think
Humble servant.
that's actually going to be done with, oh, that's a massive cavalry force there.
Make
We'll
ready.
do that with this force. Yes, we'll move up to Lodz.
By the left. Ready and awaiting
And we're going to start pushing ourselves out here.
for crown and country. Onward. Yes. Ready and waiting for order. Troops forward. Make ready.
Let's get these repaired. No matter how much it costs, we're making our statement, our stand here.
Sir.
We're going to push in against these Austrians. We're not going to give them any time at all to recoup or recover.
Yes, sir.
General Caton,
Make ready. March. Yes.
that's a magnificent army there. And General Friedland will move out as well. We're going to move out against the Austrians
March.
with a powerful force here.
Forward. For crown and
The
country.
rest of these forces will be reconfigured.
Immediately. Ready and awaiting order. At the ready. Make ready. Onward. Ready and awaiting order. March. More orders.
That's more like it. Although we've thinned out the ranks here a little bit, it's still good to see. Alright,
March.
that's more like it.
Ready and awaiting order.
Excellent. Mind you, this army group here would be under a huge amount of pressure if it came under attack here. Excuse any noise in the background there, my friends. Let's quickly just expand here to see what France, Spain is doing here. They've got another force here, but they haven't got anything we couldn't deal with if we put the right troops into position here. Mind you, we do have now 35,000 coming in here. We have to keep the tax. I think we can probably lower the tax a smidgen here. 29,000 there. Has that hit growth at all? No, it hasn't. We've still got growth here, which is fine. Excellent. Ooh. I think we'll upgrade this. But my friends, I'm going to end this episode here. As you can see, we've already got the Warsaw well defended here. And we've also pushed out with a massive amount of forces here. At least 2 army groups here, plus more. We're going to push in against the Austrians. We're going to push them away from here. We're going to aim for Glowitz here. Or Gleiwitz. And we're going to absolutely hit them hard here and push them right away from here. And that'll set us up for possibly a flanking manoeuvre against the Germans if they come for us here. But we can't. We've got to hit them here. We can't actually move against. But we're going to aim for the border here and hit them here. Take out these armies here. Push them away once and for all. But that's a massive force there. Wow, they've got a huge amount of forces, but we're ready to strike. Also here, we're going to build up some more forces here as well. Denmark has seen additional forces being moved in here. We've taken forces away from here, but
Ready and awaiting order.
actually let's just move in a little bit closer. Let's not give them any
Yes, sir.
room to maneuver here at all across the border. But my friends, I'm going to end this episode here. I hope you've enjoyed it, and we've also started to build up our forces here as well into the... Wait a minute,
Ready
just a
and
minute.
awaiting order. Ready for order.
Perfect.
Ready and awaiting order. Sir. Forward! For crown
Sir.
and country! Can't
I
do
wonder
that,
if we
sir.
can just hit one part of the Spanish Empire. Maybe if we just hit Paris and wrestle this away from them, and maybe then we could hunker down with those forces here and expand outwards. As you can see here, the population is not happy at all. -1. There could be a rebellion here, which might be perfect for us. Let me know what you think, my friends. Should we send these forces we got here and just absolutely hit Paris with everything we've got here, and then sort of try and hold Paris and build and expand from there, and use Paris as our sort of the hub, our central sort of attacking position, as it were, to expand further out into the sort of Spanish enclave, as it were, here they've got in the west. Let me know what you think, my friends. But as you can see, all the plans that you have sort of, you've sort of, recommended that I do here, we've tried our best to do here. I wonder if we can reinforce that there. Now we've got this army in here now at the moment. We've got this army here as well for the moment. So what we'll do, once this army moves away to join these forces here, we've got this army group on Ankara, then what we'll do then is we'll move this force out to join the forces here in the Don, as you have recommended. Because as I said, my friends, even though you might not see your suggestions and your plans being, sort of evoked immediately, they are in the pipeline to be done. But I hope you've enjoyed this episode, my friends. If you have, please keep your comments coming down below. Please see those comments. They've been absolutely phenomenal. They really, really have. They've driven this campaign forward more than you can possibly know. They really, really have. Hope you're having a great week thus far. Whatever you're doing, please be safe, my friends. But until next time, bye for now.